And welcome to Crochet Hooks. Please enjoy our free tutorials with just one of a 24-part series on teaching you how to crochet. Subscribe to start receiving our 24 courses that are delivered to your email inbox every few days. By the time you're done, you'll know the ins and outs of crochet. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So now let's get crocheting with Curtsy. And welcome back to the Curtsy Crochet Hook program. This is lesson number 9, and this is probably one of the most amazing lessons you're going to have, because crochet granny squares is the most sought after. Searching on YouTube as well as Google, the amount of people that are looking for patterns when it comes to crochet granny squares. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a granny square. I'm going to show you to the best that I can. We have a limited time frame of only 15 minutes, so I'm going to go as slowly as I can but as accurately as I can. And once you understand the basic principles of being able to rotate around the square, you can make your granny square as big as you feel like you need it. So let's get started with crocheting a granny square. In today's tutorial we're going to learn how to make a granny square, and this we're using the Bernat Premium yarn line. This is brand new as of fall of 2011 to be available, and when we look at the directions at the back, we're actually supposed to use a size 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, and it actually has some free patterns on here. So this is brand new yarn by Bernat, and this is acrylic, washable, lots of great instructions on here. Our knitting needles are a size 5 millimeter as well, including all of the washing directions. So what we're going to do here is that I'm going to show you how to make a granny square using this particular yarn line. Unlike what they're calling for, I'm actually going to use a size 6 bamboo curtsy crochet hook, and I'm using a size 6 so that you can see my stitches a lot better. So let's begin with the slip knot. So point and wrap, and we want to create a slip knot. We've already done that in the very first tutorials here. We now want to chain 4. So this does not count as 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to attach this stitch to this stitch, and all I want to do is I want to just stick in my crochet hook to the very first stitch we did, pull down to form a U shape, and then grabbing the material, which is coming from our hand, and pulling it through, and we just now have yourself a complete circle. So this is the very starting of the granny square. The way I teach a granny square is different from the way books show. I don't like my seams to be noticed, so I do it a different way. So you can follow it my way if you wish, or follow a book. We want to chain up 3 at this point. We're going to double crochet, so we're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now visualize this as a corner. The actual corner of the granny square is on this side, but we want to actually finish the corner. This counts as one of the double crochet already, and we just want to wrap and go right into the center of the ring in. This is our loose end, and like we did with the changing colors, we just want to lay it on top of the line, pulling it through, pull through 2 and 2. So wrap, going into the center, making sure this is going to lay down on top of the line, and pulling it through and through. This material is extremely soft, by the way. Chaining 2, now we're going to do one corner, so 1 and 2, and every time we do a corner we always chain 2. So let's wrap and go back into the center again, and laying down the loose end on top. And we want to continue to lay down that loose end until there is no more loose end, and if it's really long then you can just trim it after you got halfway through a round if you wish. And that's something you can do afterward as well. So now we're on a corner again, so let's chain 2, 1 and 2, going back into the center again for 3 more times. Pull through 2 and 2. So we're just double crocheting. So hopefully by now you understand how to double crochet, so this is not new for you. And now you can see one side, another side, another side, so we just got one more to go. Chaining 2, 1 and 2, and we want to come back into the center again 3 more times. So 1, 2. And this price tag doesn't seem to want to go away. We've had that in the last tutorial too. So there we go, and chaining 2, so 1 and 2, and we want to attach this to there. So what we just have to do is look up and attach it to the top. Okay, this is the starting of where we started. Okay, this is the starting of the top. We actually started down here, but this is the top part of that, and we want to attach it. So there's one corner, another corner, that corner, and this corner. So this is the very center. So let me show you what to do next. I want to now move up, and what we're going to just do is chaining 3 again. So 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to start in the corner. Okay, this is where it is here, and this is what I do different, is that I'm going to wrap and I'm going to go into this corner where just before this is coming out of. And we're going to do 2 more times. That chaining of 3 counts as one of the 3. Okay, so everything is in 3s. The chaining of 3 counted as one of them. We're now in the runway. I call this the runway. This is the gap between the corners. We're going to chain 1, always chain 1, and we just happen to be back onto the next corner over here. So we're looking for the gaps. This is why granny squares is so easy. So whenever we do a corner, we double crochet 3 times, we chain 2, and then we double crochet 3 more times. So that was 3, chaining 2, which is the actual physical corner itself, and then coming back in to the same spot and chaining or double crocheting 3 more times. Okay, so now we're on the runway then, because we're in between, and this is the next corner over here. So we chain 1, we always chain 1, and we're just going to come over here. So I call it the 3-2-3 configuration. That's 3 double crochets, 2 chains, which I'm going to do right now, and 3 double crochets into the very same spot. This is what happens when you do every corner. Okay, we're now on the runway, so chaining 1, and we're coming back into the next corner. So that's the 3-2-3 again. 3 double crochets, 2 chain, 3 double crochets, same spot. That is my email. Sorry about that. I get a lot of email, if you can imagine. So this here is where we started. So you can see that this is part of the corner already done. Okay, so when we go into this one, this is the last hole. We just want to do 3 double crochets, chaining 2, 1, 2, and we want to attach it to the top of where we were starting. Okay, so there you can see your square is done. So let's go up 1 more level, and every time I'm showing you what to do here, this is exact same, and you can go as big or small as you want to go. We're going to work our way up 1 more level here, so let's chaining up 3, 1, 2, and 3, and doing like what we did already before, is that we just want to come in, and we want to put 2 double crochets in, because that chaining of 3 counted as 1. We're now in the runway here, and we just, every time we're in the runway, we just chain 1 in between each of the groups of the 3. We come into the very next gap underneath, okay, and we double crochet 3 more times. So this is in between the corners. Okay, and the next one is our corner. So we chain 1 because we're considered in the runway, and then we begin our 3-2-3 configuration on the corner. So 3 double crochets, 2 chain, 3 double crochet every time within a corner. And it's the right combination to make a 90-degree turn. Some things, if you don't ever do it right on a corner, you end up with buckling, and you'll end up with the center sticking out, or the shape actually looking like a bowl instead of being flat. We're now in the runway again, chaining 1. We're looking for the next one down. Okay, we're going to do 3 double crochets in, chaining 1. We're on the next corner already. 3-2-3 again, configuration. I'm all about memory hooks when it comes to this stuff, because it just helps you to remember everything without having to turn on a video camera or your internet all the time in order to remember. So I'm doing my 3-2-3 right now. I'm now on the runway again. This is the space between the corners. Chaining 1, looking for the next gap. We put in 3 in there. So some people argue instead of chaining 1 between each of the spaces they can chain 2. You can certainly do that, but it will make your square a little more looser. I don't think it's as desirable. It doesn't make it as tight looking, and I think because there's already gaps going on, if you make it too loose, it just is not good. We're actually on a corner right now. I didn't tell you that. We're in the 3-2-3 configuration. You can it's clearly obvious at this point where the corners are. We're now in between, so we chain 1, and we have gone a full circle at this point. And let's finish off this particular round. So chaining 1. Okay, so this part is part of this already, so we're just going to be on this side. We're going to double crochet 3 times. Chain 2 and attach. This is a slip stitch, by the way. I didn't tell you that, but that's a slip stitch. You're going to pull through and through. So let's go, if I was to go up again, so then we start here, we put in 3 double crochets, we chain 1, and then we go into here for 3, we chain 1 again, going into here for 3, and then we chain 1, and then we're on the 3-2-3 configuration. So exactly what you've already learned is exactly what you need to do every time you're moving up, and that's how you do a granny square.
Crocheting a granny square is one of the most sought after tutorials, as I've already said probably multiple times in this video. It is really one of those ideas that people love time and time again. They're almost, the only thing that dates a granny square is usually the trending of the colors. So as trends of colors change, come and go, like maybe the oranges and yellows of the 70s, when you see it in an Afghan today, you realize that's pretty 70s. But if you change it to the current color themes, it actually is one of those patterns that are literally timeless over time. So that was lesson number 9 here at the Curtsy Crochet Hook program. Let's move you now to crochet lesson number 10. And crochet lesson number 10, we are going to be doing crochet circles. These are really interesting because a lot of people love to do circles when it comes to doing their doilies, and I'm going to show you a ratio and being able to understand on how to go around a circle in order to keep the circle from actually folding up like a bowl. So let's schedule you for lesson number 10 of the Curtsy Crochet Hook program, and until next time, I'm your host, Mikey.